Hello, Professor Henry. I will be going over the Milestone 1 for class. So I will just kind of go down the list here, um, explaining everything and stuff like that. So first thing first is character uses root motion. Character imported shows animation. Explain how it works. So basically what root motion is instead of using like a bunch of different animations to indicate which buttons are getting pressed. We're using a root motion system, which when the character moves will go based off of the animations that are set in terms of the skeleton. Usually animations are set through like a cycle of things. Like if they press W, it'll play the forward animation. If you press S, it'll do like the backwards. But by having this blend tree here with a bunch of root motions, set up via code. Um, we can essentially just do all this uh, based off of that. So when the it'll set the animations based on horizontal and vertical uh, through code, and it makes sure the direction can't go further than a distance of one based on the animations. So as you can see here, we pass the floats into the animator to choose the right animation to play based on the buttons we are playing. So as you can see, anim.setFloatForward is for when we press the W key, it will do the forward animation for walking, and then if you press the S key, it will do the backwards animation. Um, if you press A or D key, it will do the animation set based on that for going right or left, which I'll go ahead and showcase here in the game. Because as you can see, like we're moving forward, it's playing the animations for the forward. Let me see if I can get it here a little bit. So as you can see, like it's doing a bunch of the animations going through them all. Like if I walk backward, it'll do the walk backward animation. If I run, it will play the run backwards animation. I'm running kind of like right and left, forward, um, that direction. It will do all of that. So that is kind of what root motion is. It's going based off of the skeleton of the avatar that you have set. And by having this set up, instead of having a bunch of the animations through here in the base layer, we just have one here that does all of them. Character can move north, south, east, west, world space. Um, explain how it works. So we are using the inverse transform direction. So instead of going the transform dot direction, um, code using the inverse, it sets the movement from world direction to local, and it's going based off of the rotation of the character using the animations, basically off of the stick. So if you're doing W, it'll play that animation. If you're doing backwards, it's similar to the root motion. It ties in with it. So that hopefully explained why we use it. Um, so instead of doing everything that is world-based for stuff, it's doing it local. Next one, character rotates to face the mouse. Um, so as you can see here, he is rotating, trying to face the mouse. So if we click on the movement and go back to the game, as you can see, it's playing the rotate animation here. I'm trying to see if I can pull it up. Um, yeah, so he's rotating as the mouse is rotating. So how we are doing this is with the rotate to mouse pointer using a ray system. So basically what it's doing is it's getting the point of the cursor, and it's drawing a ray from it from the camera to wherever the cursor is on the screen, allowing the character to rotate along with it based on the cursor's distance. And we're using current ungot rotation, so wherever the look at point for the mouse is, it's looking at that, and then it will draw a rays based from that from the camera pointing downward, and it's causing the camera and the player to rotate towards it. The next one, top-down camera tracks player via code. So vector top move towards. So in the camera controller here, I've tried doing a couple of different things to try to do like a bounds set for the camera, but I haven't gotten it working quite yet. So basically what I'm doing is I'm getting the player's position and then the speed of the camera, and the offset is how high the camera is. And on the start, it is calling the camera's position minus the target's position, and they're gonna based on the differences between the two, it will give that offset. And what this if function statement is, it's checking to see if the player died or something like that, it won't give a bunch of errors and glitch out. Um, I've tried using a bound system here with the clamp, but I'm having some issues with it. So right now it's I have it commented out because it's not working. But the vector 3 dot move towards is basically getting the camera's transform position and the player's position, and also the speed of the camera times delta time. And what that is allowing it to do is it will get whatever direction the player is going. So if he's going forward, the camera will move along with it. If he's going backwards, it will go backwards. If he's going left or right, or even diagonal, it will follow the player, because whatever direction he is going towards, the camera will follow. Let's see, character utilizes rigid body and colliders. Gravity affecting player. So in my game here, and I'll kind of go back to the scene. Um, oh, that's not supposed to be. Well, I can have that in the air. It'll showcase gravity. As you can see, I have like a bunch of ramps here, and the camera is also following the player within the game. Um, but when I get kind of close to the level edge here, the bounds is supposed to keep it to where this will not show, but I'm having some issues with it. But as you can see, I have a ramp here with different heights. I can go underneath the ramp. Um, if I go on top of it, I can go up here. I can go down, and then it will have me fall. If I run into the pillar, I can run into the pillar. Um, and then I can also shoot the pillar. Well, not right now because the pillar is apparently too far away. But these I cannot move. These are just kind of stationary walls to kind of block the player. It has to go around. But as you can see, I have a camera. The player's got gravity and colliders. He can't like just run through this wall to get through it. He can't just go through everywhere. So that's the colliders and rigid body. Scene is appropriate for testing. I do have a level map here where it's got some decent things. I'll probably add more to it. But right now he's just got the one ramp with just one movable object, and then he's got a bunch of like little buildings that you can go around for the level. I have it organized based on like walls, like all of the walls here in the game. Um, and then all of the buildings are all categorized into one um, thing in the scene, and then same with the movable objects with the barrel as well. Commented, well named, variable scope for code. So all of my code is, it has comments kind of explaining what each of them do. Um, player gets player's position, the speed of the camera, how high the camera is, explaining like what each function does. Um, same thing with the pawn. Calls the animation, speed of player, the rate the player can turn. Calls the camera and inspector. Gets the buttons that the player is pressing to move the camera, or not the camera, the character. And then it'll pass in the buttons, whatever you press to be able to work in the blend space for the animations. And then also explaining the rotate to mouse, pointers for the camera to cast the rays and everything to track the cursor. I also have a weapon and projectile script here that I created for the player to shoot. It creates the bullet with the game object. It gets the shot point. So whenever the player shoots, it will go off of that shot point. The time between each shot, the speed of the bullet or force if you want to go that route, the button that they have to click for a left mouse. It will check to see um, the time of the bullet between each shot. If so, then shoot the bullet. And then this will create the bullet and have the bullet be created based on the shot point's location. And then it will create the physics and control of the bullet. So if I want to add, gravity, I could if I wanted to with the bullets, but I don't see why with top down. And then in my projectile, I just have like the lifespan of the bullet and then like just damage for now. I know I haven't done a health system yet. The last one here, new mechanic above and beyond. That is the weapon and projectile that I did here for the player, where I added in just a weapon the player can shoot with and then a bullet. I do have a game object here attached to the player called weapon. That right here is just this little thing. It's kind of like the gun that the player will eventually use in animations with the object. And then I have the shot point attached to it up front. So in the weapon script, I have the weapon script being called with the delay in seconds between each shot, projectile speed, the game object for the bullet, and then the shot point. And then I just have the bullet prefab down here for the bullet to be created with the spear collider. So that is my milestone 1. I will add the URL or the Git repo here this upcoming week. I'm just trying to like get some things figured out with some of the code. I understand like the pawn, rotate towards, rotate to mouse pointer, stuff like that would generally go in the camera controller script, and then the movement would go into like player um, controller script. I was having issues trying to transfer some of that over and updating this code to work, so I just kind of canceled that for right now, and I kind of just left it in the pawn script for now. But yeah, that is my milestone 1 here. Let me know if I need to go over root motion a bit better, or even the inverse here, or raycast, etc., and I will update it. Thank you.